the Cover in Sports Network.
How you doing? Come on in. I'm Dolph Jackson, and this is Come On In, NFL Flash Report, the New York Giants. I hope everybody had a wonderful 4th of July. It's still 4th of July weekend. Unfortunately, some of us had to get back to work today, and some of us, hey, we got a 4-day work week. So look, enjoy your time. Hope everybody stays safe. Hey, and we go celebrate through the entire weekend. Again, welcome everybody. Do your boy a favor, please hit that like button, and if it's your first time, subscribe, set that notification bell, join the family, and you already know. Come on in. All right, family, today it's time to get to it, so let's go. Well, let's talk about today's Come On In NFL Flash Report. It's about none other than the New York Giants. Last season, family, the New York Giants finished 6-11 in the NFC East. The Giants are 2 years removed, well, a year removed. In 2022, they did make the playoffs and actually got a playoff win behind the gentleman who's on the screen now, quarterback Daniel Jones. But that will be the highlight of Daniel Jones' career so far as a member of the New York Giants. Daniel Jones' career with the New York Giants could be summed up in, I'll say, a few words such as inconsistent, at times uninspiring, and as a leader, as a quarterback, you want to see that leader, that quarterback, making those around him better. For instance, last year we had a rookie quarterback come in and take the league by storm, made those around him better. Daniel Jones is yet to do that. But also, have the New York Giants really given this young man everything he needs to be successful as a starting quarterback in the National Football League? John Faithful, you know the answer to this. It's no. They haven't. But that's by no means to dismiss the play and the bad player Daniel Jones throughout much of his career as a member of the New York Giants. Now, when the Giants signed Daniel Jones last March to a 4-year, $160 million contract extension, it took the league by storm. Many wonder, what did the Giants see in him? Was it just that? Was it the season, the 2022 playoff run? Was it that season? I would say it was. So, but before then, you had 3 years of inconsistent, up and down play, at sometimes just bad football. It was just bad football at times. But seeing that what he did in 2022 and hoping that finally he was turning the corner, finally he was coming into his own, things did not work out, did not go that way. In a recent post, Dan Dugan of The Athletic wrote that Daniel Jones' contract is one to keep an eye on this season. He said that Jones, who is entering the second year of the 4-year, $160 million contract, his play this season will determine if the Giants keep him for the third year of his contract, which carries a $41.6 million cap hit. So coming into next season, if the Giants keep him, they will carry a $41.6 million cap hit with Daniel Jones as their starting quarterback. But there is an out. Now here's the out. They could decide to cut Daniel Jones and eat $22.2 million in dead money in 2025 if his play is not up to standards, it's not significantly better than it has been at any duration of his career, including the year they went to the playoffs with him as the starting quarterback. So with them eating that $22.2 million next season, they also, though, will recoup $19.4 million in cap savings. So simple and plain, family, it all comes down to Daniel Jones this year and his performance as the quarterback and leader of the New York Football Giants. Last year, Daniel Jones started 6 games before giving way to injury. He opened up the season. The Giants opened up September 10 against the Dallas Cowboys. Daniel Jones' performance on that evening, he went 15 of 28 for 104 yards with a completion percentage of only 53.6%. He averaged 7 yards per completion, 6.97 yards per completion. But he had no touchdowns, but he threw 2 INTs. The following week against Arizona, in the long win that he had as the starter last season, before his season came to an end, he went 26 of 37 for 321 yards, had a completion percentage of 70.3%. He averaged 12 yards per completion. He threw 2 touchdowns and 1 intercept, and he also ran for 1 touchdown. In that game, he ran 9 times for 59 yards and averaged 6.6 yards per carry. The following week, against the NFC champion San Francisco 49ers, he goes 22 of 32, 137 yards, completing 68% of his passes, no touchdowns, but an intercept. So in the first 3 games of the season, Daniel Jones had 4 intercepts and 2 touchdowns. The following week against Seattle, he goes 27 to 34, completes 79.4% of his passes, averaged 7.5 yards per completion. But for the second time in 4 weeks, he throws no touchdowns and 2 intercepts. The following week, they played the Miami Dolphins. He goes 14 to 20, 70% completion percentage, 8 of 5 yards per completion. He throws no touchdowns and has no intercepts. And against the Las Vegas Raiders, and what would be his last game of the season before he's injured, Daniel Jones goes 4 of 9 for 25 yards. He was averaging 6.2 yards of completion, and he was only completing 44% of his passes. So Daniel Jones has a lot to prove. This is, make no mistake, a make it or break it season for Daniel Jones, but also this could be his final opportunity to be a starting quarterback in the National Football League. But what have the Giants done to help him? The New York Giants, how should I put this? The New York Giants brain trust has did a poor job of protecting their young quarterback, who they invested $160 million in. In fact, last year, the New York Giants offensive line family was was the worst in modern football, the second worst in the history of modern football, the worst since the year 2000. Let me share this article with you from Giants Wire USA by Mr. John Finley, where he speaks about this ineptitude and bad offensive line for the offensive line play of the New York Giants that has been a consistent theme for them since Daniel Jones arrived as the quarterback of the New York Giants. Get that on screen for you, family. They have to do a better job of protecting this kid, man. And then all chips fall. Then let all chips fall where they may. Surround him with help. Get him the necessary playmakers that he needs. Losing Saquon Barkley, deciding to go away, move on from Saquon Barkley, we will see. Was that the right decision? Now it's a running back by committee. Who will step up? Would it be veteran Devin Singletary, who they signed? Can he step up and be the leader of that running back room and take the lead as the top back for the New York Giants in 2023? But in this article, Mr. Finley wrote, Giants had a negative -51 sack margin in 2023, the worst in over 2 decades. And let's take a look at the article. In baseball, stats are king. In football, not so much. So we're going to skip down. And here's what he's talking about. One stat, however, does have some meaning. It's called sack differential. The margin between the sacks a team allows and the sacks it amasses. So we're talking about sack differential, which is the margin between the sacks the Giants allow and the sacks the Giants amass. So in 2023, the New York Giants racked up a sack differential of -51, the worst total since 2000 per NFL analyst Warren Sharp. Sharp, as you can see here in the X-Post, say worst historical sack margins. 2023 New York Giants. The next closest would be the 2002 Houston Texans. The worst was the 1986 Packers or Lions. Think of Packers or Lions, man. They were just horrible. Let's see. So let's read this. The expansion Houston Texans the expansion Houston Texans of 2002, who allowed rookie quarterback David Carr to be second NFL record 76 times, was a distant second with a -41. The Giants allowed 85 sacks last season, the most in the NFL since the 1986 Philadelphia Eagles gave up 104 sacks. The Giants allowed their quarterback last year to be sacked 85 times. Defensively, the Giants had 34 sacks of their own in 2023, which was 29th in the NFL. That pass rush by the Giants has to get better. All three of the Giants quarterbacks fell victim to the team's leaky offensive line, and leaky is being bad offensive line. Tommy DeVito was sacked 37 times in his 9 games played, with 6 of those being starts. Daniel Jones was sacked 30 times in 6 games, and Tyrod Taylor 17 times over 11 games. Daniel Jones played 6 games last year and was sacked 5 times each game. Hell, he was even sacked by wide receiver Paris Campbell, who was charged with his sack on a pulled executed option play. You get sacked by your own wide receiver, and it actually counts as a sack. On defense, the Giants' pass rush was largely ineffective when it came to getting home and sacking the quarterback, despite coordinator Wink Martindale's excessive blitzing. They were 30th in sack rate at 5.52%. Kayvon Thibodeau, I love this kid. Had 11 and a half sacks to lead the team, followed by Jahad Ward 5, Dexter Lawrence 4.5. No other player had more than 2.5 sacks. So again, I asked the question, Giant Nation, what has this regime done up front to help protect Daniel Jones? Either you're setting them up for success or you're setting them up for failure. Again, both Daniel Jones and the Giants' brain trust have culpability in what has happened in his career so far as the starting quarterback of the New York Giants. Now it comes down to, what can the Giants do this year? What have they done this year to help Daniel Jones be successful? And what will Daniel Jones do with what is most likely his last opportunity to prove he is a starting quarterback in the National Football League, and what could be his final season as quarterback of the New York Giants, unless he puts it all together and has his best all-around season that he has had in his entire NFL career. We'll be right back, family. All right, family, welcome back. Kayvon Thibodeau, as we just read, led the Giants last year with 11 and a half sacks. Kayvon Thibodeau is one of the best young, I believe, defensive pass rushers and all around top with the ceiling permanent, with the arrow going up, defenders in the National Football League. This past season, Thibodeau again led the Giants with 11 and a half sacks. He forced 3 fumbles, and he totaled 50 stops. The former number 1 pick of the 2022 draft for his career has 15 and a half sacks, 5 forced fumbles, and 3 fumble recoveries. So what did the Giants go out and do this offseason? They go out and they get him some help. They go out and they make a trade with the Carolina Panthers and bring in one of the top pass rushers in the National Football League. Despite playing on a bad football team, Brian Burns was definitely not the problem for the Carolina Panthers. As you can see here, this is what the Giants are adding opposite of Kayvon Thibodeau and Brian Burns. Big Blue Nation, you should be excited because this young man has improved every single year. He's gotten better and better. And look at this wicked spin move. Here's the outside spin move. Then he comes back with the chop spin move right here. It's just wicked. You add him to Kayvon Thibodeau. Now you got a formidable duel coming off the edge, applying pressure to the quarterback this coming season for the New York Giants. But also, you got to look at last year, the Giants were led by Bobby Okereke as he had a career year. Last year, Okereke had 149 total stops, 92 solo, 57 assisted. Again, 57 assisted last season is what Okereke had last season. After coming over from the Colts, the kid, he's extinctive. Look at this. In space, very athletic, hustles side to side, feels the whole great. Giant fans, you witnessed this all last season from this young man. So now, when you look at what the Giants have, Okereke, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, learns Jahai Ward up front. The Giants defense right now on paper has the potential to be one of the better units in the NFC East and possibly in the entire NFC. So again, the prize this offseason for the New York Football Giants was the trade for that young man right there, Brian Burns. Burns, Thibodeau, Okereke, I hope I'm saying it right. Okereke, Thibodeau, and Burns family give the Giants a formidable rush duel, linebacker core, and with Jahai Ward up front and Dexter Lawrence, the New York Giants defense can make some noise in the 2024 season. But again, it's going to come down to this young man here, Daniel Jones, the offensive line of the New York Giants. Now, what they did do in this year's past draft, they did go out and get him some help. In the first round, they go back to a school that I would say has done okay for the New York Giants, as they in the first round take wide receiver Malik Neighbors from LSU. But I think Malik Neighbors, I think he was one of the best. To me, you could have put him up there with Marvin Harrison Jr. To me, you flip a coin. I think those two were 1A and 1B, or however you want to put it. Malik Neighbors is a big play receiver, big, physical, fast. I think the Giants are going to be, in Giants Nation, I think you're going to, after watching him play at LSU all these years, you're going to be really happy with this young man. But again, a lot has to do with the circumstances, the environment that these kids are walking into. A lot of times it's about the right situation, the right fit. And let's hope that the Giants organization, that the Giants are the right fit for Malik Neighbors. Because if they are, I'm telling you right now, you're going to be happy with this kid. If everything goes right as far as him remaining healthy, I think Malik Neighbors' name will be in the running for offensive rookie of the year. And I also like what the Giants did in the forward round by selecting Penn State tight end Theo Johnson. I thought Theo Johnson would be a mid to late third round pick. They get him in the with the 7th pick in the round 4. I like that addition. And of course, with Darren Waller retiring, now listen, it's wide open. So take a look, keep an eye on Theo Johnson and Tyrone Tracy. Again, no Saquon Barkley. Went out, you signed Devin Singletary, Tyrone Tracy from Purdue. Interesting young back, very explosive, very skilled young man. You get him in with the 31st pick of the 5th round. So the New York Football Giants 2024 season will be one to keep an eye on. And again, it will go as far as that young man who is on the screen right now. Well, family, excuse me, that's going to bring our show to an end for today. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Now, I would like to thank our official affiliate partners, Smacking Sunflower Seeds, family. If you haven't tried them, you need to try them. Smacking Sunflower Seeds, they're smacking good. Until next time, family, I'm your host, Dolph Jackson. This has been Come On In NFL Flash Report, the New York Football Fighting Giants. Until next time, family, take care, and we out.
The Come On In Sports Network.